This last summer was arguably the strongest anime season in a while, filled with quality sequels and great new shows. So, time to rank them. As always, here are the anime that won't show up on the list, either because I haven't caught up, or I dropped them before. There are a lot of entries, so I'll try to be quick. But remember, this is just my dumb opinion, so let me know what your favorites are below. Anyways, let's get right to it with number 56, 9 Ruler's Crown. There's gonna be a ton of very mediocre shows here in the bottom, and I'll try to zoom through these, but confidently, this is last place. Some of these have worse animation, but this one just had a very dumb, forgettable plot, annoying characters, and such a slow pace. It's not the worst thing, mind you, but in terms of this season's standards, easy F tier. Number 55, Kamitsubaki City Under Construction. Pretty bad CG animation, with a story trying to combine a monster-filled world with girls singing as the solution. Just kinda plain, and again, the animation just takes it even further. Number 54, Watari-kun's whatever is about to collapse. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I immediately didn't care for this. The obvious love triangle was a pain, and I disliked the characters right away, especially Satsuki, who's dumb as bricks. And add on the heavy fanservice thrown in there. Like, there are ways to do it correctly, and this isn't it. Just really annoying. Number 53, Necronomicon and the Cosmic Horror Show. Streamers get stuck on a VR game with humanity at stake, but I can't take it seriously with the out of nowhere change to CG and this Fall Guys reject of a game. Not horrible, but it's just dumb. Number 52, Harmony of Mille Feuilles. Girl joins an a cappella group in this music-focused anime. Boring and generic, but harmless enough. Number 51, Shirohyo. This is definitely aimed more at smaller kids, by the don't sit too close to the TV warning that comes up. But it's a bit mean-spirited by making the main character the butt of the joke because he's fat. There are okay moments, but it is awkward most of the time. Being an isekai with the age difference doesn't help either. Number 50, Scooped Up by an S-rank adventurer. It's another OP adventurer gets kicked out of their party story we get every season now, and it doesn't have much to it to stand out. There are better examples later. Number 49, The Shy Hero and the Assassin Princesses. Main joke is the main guy can't handle talking to the girls in his new party, well they don't lock in and kill him. Rinse and repeat. It'd be okay, but the jokes and punchline aren't really that funny. The idea is fine, but again, not worth much in action. Number 48, Turkey, Time to Strike. I wasn't ready for the shift from mediocre bowling slice of life to a time travel story. Sadly, apart from the visuals being meh, the cast is way too boring to hook you, and there's a ton of rambling. But seeing as the action was them throwing bowling balls to defeat enemy soldiers, it's for the best. It is different at least. Number 47, Apocalypse Springer Minogra. It's just another generic isekai, man. Comes in as the strongest god in the game, usual scenario, you know. But the first 2-3 episodes are full of boring exposition scenes. Loses even more points there. Number 46, Night of the Living Cat. I was teetering and giving this one more love because even the title is perfect, but it's kind of annoying. Like, yes, we know it's about cats. You don't have to shove it down our throats each episode with all these bad jokes. Animation is a bit wonky and it just gets tedious way too quick. Number 45, Bullet Bullet. A bit of a miss for this Disney Plus show. Visuals are pretty good, but apart from the slow start, it overuses some really crummy jokes and catchphrases that just don't land. Kinda crazy how they screwed up a Mad Max kind of story. Number 44, Private Tutor to the Duke's Daughter. I thought this was fine from the first episode, with some appealing visuals and a decent intro to the protag, but the lolly girls crushing on the main dude is just cringy and so unneeded. Not an original concept either. Number 43, Nukitashi. Listen, yeah, this was dumb. Crazy thing is that the visuals are really good for some reason, and it being this open and proud about the culture is really funny. So I'll give it props, even if I didn't watch after episode 1. It's not for minors though. Number 42, Onmyo Keiten Rebirth Burst. Isekai yet again, at least has a bit more substance with the cool mix of ancient Japan and future tech, but doesn't do more than be a typical protag has to prove his strength plot, and doesn't really deliver on visuals or charm that much. Number 41, Deki no Mogura. Definitely a unique looking one, for better or worse. A really neat concept with a spirit that's lived for ages, but it is a little talkative, and most of the jokes aren't that funny. Visuals don't help much either. Maybe with more of an open mind there's something, but season was already full for me. Number 40, Solo Camping for 2. Not a bad idea for a show, but I kinda didn't vibe with these characters. Like, they weren't that fun to be around, considering it's a slice of life anime. Visuals aren't anything special either. Not bad, just not enough for me. Number 39, Ugly Mug, Epic Fighter. Another isekai throwing a random thing to try to be different, but ends up still having the same elements. I do like that it's more people, and they're fine as characters. The main fat guy trying to hide his power is funny too, but it's just so overdone at this point that it lands here. Number 38, Leviathan. Orange does some good stuff with their visual style, and while it has a pretty good setup for the first few episodes, it rapidly starts to drag along. Like, I was waiting for obvious payoffs with these characters, but they kept getting sidetracked, and I lost interest. A bit of a shame. Number 37, Cultural Exchange with a Game Center Girl. Gotta point out that I love the visual style and coloring. Also, the English actually being good is funny, but pretty charming. Problem is that the age gap is very awkward. 13 versus 18 is way too much. I think the story was done before the legal age changed or whatever, but it's way too distracting. The show itself isn't anything hysterical either, so this seems fair. Number 36, Bad Girl. Apart from being the inferior Yuri show of the season, once again, some of the jokes don't land. And while I understand it's a girls' love show, it's very on the nose with some of these visuals, dude. It's fine enough, but it just didn't stick with me to go higher. Number 35, See You Tomorrow at the Food Court. Might be a hot take, but I kinda didn't care for this one that much. Like, I get the chill vibe and how well it represents some friends talking while eating, but it's just that. And I wasn't super into what they were talking about either, so yeah. It does have its fans, so maybe give it a shot, especially with only 6 episodes. Number 34, With Vengeance, Sincerely, Your Broken Saintess. Okay, this one has barely any animation to speak of, since it's just a web manga with some editing, but I really enjoyed the plot. Pretty simple revenge story, appealing designs for the characters, and being half episodes really helps too. I was hooked on it. Some actual animation would have been cool, but as is, it goes here. Number 33, Captivated by You. Personally, I didn't really have much interest in this one, with the boys love tease, but not really anything bad I can point out. It visually looks good too, so this seems like a fair place to put it. Number 32, Hotel Inhumans. Love the idea more than the execution. Like, yeah, a hotel specialized in taking care of assassins is cool, but I really wish it was given to a better studio, because visuals are lacking, and it is missing more of a punch too. Lost potential. Number 31, New Saga. There's nothing wrong about this one, apart from the random fanservice moments, but we've already had a handful of fantasy shows where the protag goes back in time to do things differently, and this one barely does much to stand out. Number 30, Fermat Kitchen. If I were to be objective here, this one would definitely be lower. Visuals aren't anything special, some of the character interactions are very dumb, and it tries so hard to be dramatic, among other things. But I still enjoyed watching the protag try to cook using math somehow, and seeing his overblown explanations. Like, I know it's dumb, but I was pretty into it somehow. I just might be into cooking shows too much. The arc at the end was really stupid though, so I can't really put it any higher. Number 29, Hell Teacher, Jigoku Sensei Nube. This one suffers from the old anime vibe, being a remake. Some really interesting ghost cases along with pretty good visuals for the action, but plagued with outdated jokes, character archetypes, and so on. It's a distracting mix. Fine enough, but can't top what's next. Number 28, Welcome to the Outcast Restaurant. It is another OP adventurer getting kicked out of his team and ends up rescuing a slave, because we've ran out of ideas I guess, but it does manage to get past those negatives and is actually okay. Cooking does go by the wayside, and it's just about this guy helping and defending his girly customers. It isn't original, but can't fault it too much. Number 27, Togenanki. This one felt like it could have been more. It sticks by the shonen formula to a T, which isn't bad, but we'll see a better example down the line. Even if the blood powers can be interesting, the characters are pretty basic, and some moments try super hard to be emotional and deep, and it falls flat. Can't give it too much flack, but it's just a typical shonen. Number 26, April Showers Bring May Flowers. Just to continue the trend, another show about the quote-unquote ugly girl falling for the popular guy. Heck, the original Japanese title for it is kinda mean. I did drop this halfway through, but not because the show is bad. I think it's a cute little rom-com, helping the main girl grow out of her shell and accept herself. I just don't like when these kinds of shows overdo it with the self-loading. Plus, the sidecast is fairly bad, if I'm honest. But again, it's fine. Number 25, Betrothed to My Sister's Ex. Sort of a Cinderella story, and it works fairly well, even if the setup is pretty crazy. Once again, there are moments where the self-loading for Mary is a little tiring, but it's way more justified, considering how her family treated her. The new kingdom she lives in is pretty nice, and the characters are fun. I appreciate Mio the maid a lot. Entertaining enough. Number 24, The Water Magician. Isekai once again, but I'm glad we got the protag building up to his inevitably OP powers. The magic is really cool looking, the way he gets the sword is great, and how he gets to an actual town is cool. I think my problem is that once he's in town and does the usual isekai adventure stuff, I lost interest real quick. There's a bunch of positives in terms of visuals and designs, but again, once you hit the generic story tones with no hook, you lose me. Number 23, Seven Prince Season 2. I hate to say this, especially after praising the first season, but Season 2 was kinda mid to me. I think it's because Season 1 gave Lloyd an opportunity to learn about all these different kinds of magic and go completely nuts against all these bad guys, while Season 2 focused entirely on divine magic, on the church, and giving a spotlight to the rest of the cast. And they're just not as interesting, if I'm being real. Visuals are still good for the magic and the funny gags, but again, this series peaks when it lets Lloyd let loose. We'll see if they get another season. Number 22, Ban, The Boundary of Adulthood. Wanted to highlight this one real quick. It's so surreal to see Giga get to make his own anime. The short itself is pretty good, highlighting two different outcomes of leaving your home for something new. Nice visuals and tremendous music by Kevin Pankin. It's good, and it leaves me wishing we'd gotten more. As it is a short, I'll leave it here, but I'm really excited to see if Garn has more to come. Number 21, Ruri Rocks. I might step on some toes here, but I thought this show was just fine. Like, visually it's beautiful. I love that Bind just takes these random series in between Mishoku and keeps delivering on the stellar animation and visuals. Definitely some interesting character designs too. The OST is also very nice. The leitmotif whenever they discover something just hits. So my problem comes in because I just didn't find the whole rock explanations very interesting. I appreciate how thorough they are, but it just didn't hook me. I usually watch this at higher speed if I'm honest. I totally get why a lot of people love the show though. If I was being more objective and didn't follow my personal enjoyment, this would be way higher, but it just sticks here for me. Number 20, Let's Go Karaoke. A short series, but man was it gripping, in spite of just being about some mobsters getting ready for a karaoke contest. Dumb premise on paper, but mixed great with the main kid's issues. Really funny and super endearing. I would have put this higher, but I was sort of expecting more out of the final episode, which came out like a month after. Still a really good watch. Number 19, There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover. Unless the other Yuri show that worked way better. Super goofy way to put the main girl in some gay panic over her overly dramatic classmates, but still had some really emotional depth to it. Great visuals that handled both moods perfectly. The indecisiveness and kinda necessary love polygon might have lost some points for me, but it's a fun girls' love show. Really like the main girl. Number 18, detectives these days are crazy. Not sure why this one isn't getting more love because I had an awesome time with it. Just throwing gags and jokes all over the place, and a lot of them really had me rolling. Mashiro is just a perfect idiot character for this detective setting, always destroying the fourth wall and just cracking me up with all the dumb references and reactions. The rest of the cast is pretty fun also, just not as unhinged. Some episodes aren't perfect, which would put it only here, but I'd love to see more of this. Pretty fun time. Number 17, Sakamoto Days Part 2. I think this part did pretty well after we got introduced to the whole gang in the first score. I love the fights and scenarios they threw in, and I'm pretty interested in both groups. It's still able to be funny too, so yeah, I'm still on board, even if it fell off for some. Number 16, Kaiju number 8 Season 2. Kinda similar to Sakamoto, this season starts off really strong with a big moment I won't spoil here, even though it's a bit out of nowhere, and didn't fully hit emotionally as much as it should have, IMHO. Some cool moments and reveals happen in the middle, even though it is plainly a training arc. It builds up to the last couple of episodes to this crazy threat, and it's over. Kind of an abrupt ending. I really like the cast and new additions though, so yeah, still good. Oh, and the OP and ED songs are bangers. Number 15, dealing with Mikadono sisters is a breeze. Normally, I'm not into harem anime, but unlike stuff like Couple of Cuckoos, this one has some actual heart to it. The designs for the characters are great, even if the main guy is a bit androgynous, but it works for what they're going for. The different personalities for the Mikadono girls mesh great, and I like Yu's motivation to make them an actual family, instead of hitting on them deliberately. Sure, you get the usual awkward rom-com stuff, but nothing eye-rolling for the most part. Helps that the tsundere is voiced by Aoi Koga. It's charming, it's fun, it's visually pleasing, just ticks the right boxes for me. Number 14, With You and the Rain. Easily the most chill anime of the season. Visually simple, but works great. These two characters balance each other out so nicely. I love how the dog is intelligent enough to write, but still has some great funny reactions. And Fuji is the perfect straight man to the duo. Really appreciate that we get to explore more of her character too. She's also very pretty, not gonna lie. We even get into some deep, thoughtful territory. Some episodes aren't as great as others, but overall, it was such a nice and wholesome watch. Number 13, My Dress Up Darling Season 2. This series is fun. It's really fun to see Marin enjoy cosplaying and Gojo locking in when doing what he loves, and getting those moments between them, and seeing Marin overthink stuff and fall for him is so cute and hilarious. And that might be my sole problem with the season. It doesn't have enough of that compared to Season 1. I missed the spice, so to say. Don't get me wrong though, it was still a good time seeing the rest of the cast, and Cloverworks continues to do amazing stuff with their different visual styles and beautiful attention to detail. Still such a nice watch. Number 12, Clevatess. I'm absolutely loving the fantasy renaissance we've been getting. Clevatess is a much more gritty take on the genre. Goes from this amazing first episode giving the Lord of Dark Beast a purpose, while using Alicia as an anchor, and a great way to expand not only humanity's take, but this huge wartime world. Great plot, a bunch of crazy moments and fights that use magic in an interesting way, and a lot of blood. Will say, some of the last episodes do suffer from stiff animation. Like, you can tell they were running out of time or money, so the last arc wasn't as impactful as I hoped, but I'm really looking forward to what comes next. Number 11, Gachakuta. Like I said before with Togenanki, you can do a shonen by the book, but you've gotta add something to spice it up. And this one understood that from the start. Great way to introduce your main guy, a crazy setup to this garbage world, and what Rudo tries to accomplish, and a very inventive power system that lets the protag be so creative with his action. It's kinda nuts what they come up with, I love it. The rest of the cast seems nice enough, and I'm sure we'll get more of them later, but the big stuff is Rudo, the villains, and again, the cool underworld. We'll have to see what the second core cooks up, but I'm seated. Number 10, Lord of Mysteries. This donghua goes extremely hard with its visuals, able to beautifully convey this dark steampunk world filled with magic and deliver on every little detail. The vibe just works perfectly for the setting, with the OST giving it more mystique, and the story is just as bountiful. I might even say too much? Yeah, I might get flamed for this one, but I personally had some trouble following along. The setting is great and all, but there's way too much info and exposition being thrown at you that it got overwhelming really quick. Which is weird because considering my love for Link Click and Hero X, I thought I'd eat this up. This definitely might be a me problem, but I gotta be honest. If I were to be fully objective, this easily should be on the top 5, but I can't put this higher than the rest of my list. But still, it's an easy recommendation on visuals alone. Chinese shows have been on fire. Number 9, Dr. Stone Science Future Part 2. This series has just been very fun throughout its whole run. True, I did think I'd put this lower because the first half is a little weak compared to other arcs since it's just a boat chase, but I was not ready for the outcome. Some of the most emotional and impactful episodes of the year, really. Just as always able to use this huge cast of characters so well, and still able to deliver a really damn good season. I'm not ready for this to end. Number 8, The Summer Hikaru Died. The atmosphere, visuals, and character study this show has is so up my alley. Really reminded me of Summertime Render in some aspects. The way they convey whatever Hikaru is now is perfect. As a monster while giving it some humanity somehow. And Yoshiki's inner turmoil over exposing it, or keeping quiet to still see his loved one, is tough. And little by little, the small town gets more involved. Classmates start noticing things, and the tension just keeps rising and rising. And while I do think the slow burn is beneficial mostly, it's also why I don't put this higher. I do think there's a bit too much back and forth for Yoshiki that could have been avoided per se, but that's minor. Really, I think this show hasn't peaked yet. I believe the second part has potential to make this an all-timer. But just taking this first season into account, it falls here for me. Number 7, Call of the Night Season 2. I think this season benefited massively from having all the sidecast already introduced, because it holds no punches. Lots and lots of really impactful reveals, emotional moments, while still being able to be chill and funny, just like Season 1. The backstories were killer. Also still has the beautiful night vibe, fun soundtrack, and another banger Creepy Nuts OP. A great reminder on why this series is so good. Number 6, Secrets of the Silent Witch. Look, she might be magic bochy, but it just works. Becoming a magic user who's able to do spells without talking because of social anxiety is genius. And it also helps that this is easily the best looking anime the studio has done. Great character designs, stellar magic effects, great color scheme, and some fluid animation for the action. But the real star are the characters. I love seeing Monica being able to socialize, and having the side crew be supportive, while having their own nice side quests and big moments too. Monica also gets some really strong emotional moments parents, recounting her past with her dad, so there's a lot to love about this. Desperately deserves a second season. Number 5. Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus. I had a chance to binge watch both movies and this season pretty much all together, and man was it a good watch. Santa Claus divides the season into 3 arcs, and they're pretty damn good. I like how good the show is at hiding certain details in plain sight that'll be important later. Lots of great twists and turns, character growth, and as always, superb dialogue. Perfect reminder of why Mai and Sakuta are one of my favorite anime couples. It's very cool seeing the cast start to grow up too. Even without any flashy designs or animation, it's so easy to recognize and cherish these characters. Surreal that the upcoming movie is gonna be the end already. Number 4. City the Animation. Underrated gem of the season. I cannot believe how little discussion I've seen about this show. City is a love letter to animation. KyoAni just pops off each single episode in one of the wackiest anime ever, putting out quality 2D animation like it's nothing. Like episode 5's phenomenal multi-view skit, focusing on each and every character, making more animation in one segment than most shows have done in a full core. Plus all the expressive effect animation and almost all the jokes and gags. The city itself has so many fun, endearing characters that there were little to no low points. Maybe a few jokes got stuck on translation, but really, each episode brought a smile to my face and a ton of laughs. It's the spiritual successor to Nichiyu, and you can tell it was made with love. Number 3. Dandadan Season 2. This season just continued to show why Sainzaru was the perfect choice to take on this series. I do think it wasn't as amazing as Season 1, since we didn't get a huge showstopper episode like before, but the quality, animation perfection, and madness of a story were consistent through it all. We got some great Momokarun moments in, a couple of great arcs, Jin got more to do, and basically no holds barred in what crazy stuff they added to the story. Loved it so much. Can't wait for more. Number 2. The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. How does Cloverworks keep getting away with this? 3 great rom-coms in one season, with Fragrant Flower being the crowning achievement. This show just melted my heart each and every week. The whole cast is so likable, which is always a huge plus for these shows, but Kaoru and Rintaro are just perfect. And they work together even more so. While I was kinda worried the whole schools being divided setting was gonna be annoying, the cast quickly set me at ease and just became more endearing each episode. Rintaro's growth and leap to try to make a relationship after his backstory was super emotional and nice. And who wouldn't fall for this bundle of joy Kaoru? But sheesh, that sentiment went even higher after that last moment in the show. But the moment it clinged to number 2 for me was episode 9, where Rintaro opens up about his past and how helpful his parents were, with the last moment just crushing me. It was super sweet and I couldn't help getting emotional. One of the episodes of the year for sure. Subaru opening up, Rintaro's friends. There's so much to this in just one season. I'll try to convey more of this later, but you owe it to yourself as a rom-com fan to check this out pronto. Before I go on to number 1, here are my quick thoughts on the shows that were continuing from spring, or the loose ends. Witch Watch was still good, still pretty funny and great at throwing references and fourth wall breaks. Not as strong as I thought it would be, but still enjoyable. I appreciate how good the world building is in Sword of the Demon Hunter, even if I did wish it moved along with the main plot sooner. And Shirley is a pretty good slice of life, even if a little slow. It gets you with some really emotional moments. Koppen-chan suddenly turned into one of my favorites, such a cute little penguin. And To Be Hero X was freaking phenomenal from start to finish. I'll definitely talk about this one later, but you really gotta check it out. One of the year's best shows. And number 1, Takopi's Original Sin. Regardless of the massive amount of quality we got this season, the moment I finished episode 1 of Takopi, let alone the series, I knew this was gonna be up here real quick. Massive content warning if you want to check it out, because it's heavy. It's one of those anime that more than just a show, it feels like an experience. You're not the same after watching this. Hell, I did the dumb thing and binge watched this one night and that was something. Just an onslaught of insane screwed up moments, reveals, character analysis, shock and shock and shock that had me reeling, dude. Every episode has a moment that keeps you frozen or disgusted or speechless. But episode 4 was the epitome for me, where my jaw was on the floor. I was almost screaming at my TV. The way it portrays this negative, dark side of the world, filled with abuse and neglect, is screwed up, but they nailed it. And mixing it up with one of the most innocent and supportive characters in Takopi, somehow trying to make this work, just makes this one of the biggest emotional roller coasters I've seen animated. I don't want to go into specifics, because you gotta experience this blind like I did. Again, do be careful, because it deals with a lot of heavy subjects, but I truly don't see any way to not have this as the best anime of the season. And those were my rankings of the summer 2025 anime. I had a lot of fun watching these shows, and I'm glad I could share my takes. What was your favorite show of the season? Let me know below. And if you enjoyed this, please hit like and subscribe for more in the future. I'm very excited for some of the sequels happening in fall, and I can't wait to find some more gems. So for now, it's been Jules, I hope you have a great one, and I'll see you next time.